Hello and welcome everyone. I'll be explaining uh, the recent educational round 102 round rated for DIV2 problem B named string LCM. This was a pretty good problem. So let's jump into the statements and actually they have just described how we can do uh, string multiplication, string divisional operation, and multiplication. How actually it happens in string. They have actually demonstrated about multiplication of string operations and multiplication of divisible operations, and so they actually wanted us to find that we need to find two strings LCM value. Okay, we know what is LCM in numbers when we do number sort of thing. LCM is what lowest common multiple, right? So in numbers, it's actually always possible to find an answer, but not always in case of this strings, right? So I actually have to find out. I'm given two strings. I just have to find out the two strings LCM. So what could be the possible answers? And first I'll explain you how would you multiply, what is multiplication means in string, right? In two strings. Let's say they have told that let's take an example. Let's say I have a string like AB, and I want to do this. I want to do this string times 2. What does this mean? This means they have said that this means it will be just repeated 2 times. I mean copied by 2 times. So it would look like this. It would mean exactly like this. Okay. And what is division means? And they have told us that um, division means that, let's say I have a string this AB, AB, and AB, and I need to find out whether this is divisible by this. Now this is actually pretty common if you analyze it, that okay, this substring need to be equal to each and every portion of it, right? So um, if I say that yes, this string is divisible by this, what does actually mean is I can always make a string like this if I add or concatenate strings of this some number of times, which will be the result. For this one, the answer would be what? Like 3, right? So if I concatenate 3 times AB, I will definitely get this string, and they have told us that is we will demonstrate it as it is divisible by this string is divisible by this. So this is the general observation and operations. But how do we approach this problem? We need to find out the LCM, right? Now what we do in LCM of two numbers, in two numbers LCM, what we do, we calculate the GCD value, and we divide the GCD value, uh, we divide the I mean we just find out the multiplication of two values and divide it with GCD of that two values, and then finally we get what? The LCM value. Now in case of string, okay, it's actually a bit easier to observe. So let's take one example. Let's say we have this two strings here, BA and BA. Now let's say BA and BA. This is one string and this is another one. Now in terms of number, what we do, we always try to find out what could be the lowest common multiple. Now for when comparing strings, what we do when we try to find out that number, we actually do nothing, which is actually quite easier to analyze in strings, because what you have to do is, okay, I have to find out a string which can from which, from that string, let's say we have let's say the LCM of these two string is a string called x. Now what does this mean? This means that I can always find out this string times something equal to this x string, okay? And also I can always find out some string called BA times something, some number, let's say 54, some number equal to this string. Now I already told you what is multiplication by some number of a string is, right? Let's say BA times 2 is x. Now what does that mean? That means that BA times 2, let's just demonstrate BA times 2, BA and BA, right? So I have to find out some string which is gonna be from which I can always make this string which will be always be multiple of this any of those strings. I mean both of those strings actually. So how can you measure that or understand that? So if you just analyze it, you will understand that, okay, so I just only have to, so first of all, the length of the string, right? The length of the strings, now we need to consider the length here, because let's say it has a length 4 and length 2. Now we, in this problem, we also have to do an LCM, general LCM operation of numbers. Why is that needed? Look, we need to find out the string which is the LCM result, right? And that length should definitely be greater than or equal to the maximum length out of these two strings. That's obvious. Now how can you possibly make sure that that string, that length, is a multiple of both of these strings, right? That length is divisible by both of these strings, string lengths. First you have to ensure that, because when you ensure that, you can always check by each and every portion of substrings whether they are equal to or not. I hope I made you understand. So that's exactly why we need some value. uh, uh, First we need to measure the LCM, the final values, final strings length. How can you measure that? There is one way, and it is exactly what you should do, which is you have to find out the LCM of the given two strings length. Okay, now how is this going to help me? Absolutely, it's going to help me because I am finding out the LCM. I'm making sure that I have that length from which I can make this, right, times something. So this is my first observation. This was first observation, and what we have to do, we have to find out the LCM of these two given strings length, and we have to find out, okay, so this is my length finally, this is my length finally, and what I only care about is, okay, what will be the string then? The string can, you can make any of those. I mean, look, we will try to find out what the maximum length, and we found out we're going to be finding out by taking the LCM value of those two strings length, and that length, from that length we can always find out how many this string is gonna occur and how many this string is gonna occur, right? Because let's say that that length, that LCM of length, I mean the numbers LCM, let's say, and I have, okay, let's explain here. Okay, let's I have like len1 is the first string's length and len2 is the second string's length, and their LCM of length is len3. Now this length 3, how is this going to help us? We can always say and measure that if I do something like this, len3, let's say len3 by len, what can I find out? I can find out how many of this length is gonna occur inside can occur inside this length tree, the final result LCM, final length LCM. And also I can try to find out how many length 2 strings is gonna be appearing here. So it's up to my choice. I can either do this or this. It doesn't matter what I do, because at the end of the day I have to check whether uh, whether those substrings, those like A substrings and B substrings, are equally positioned or not. Otherwise you cannot do that. Now let's show you one big example here. Let's say I have let's say they have said BA, okay, and I have BA. I think this is a pretty easy. Let's take this. Now if you see that it has what we do, first our observation, first our step was try to find out the LCM of those two lengths. What will it give? 3 times 2 is 6, so the final string will definitely be a 6 length string. And we will find out, okay, now how many possible string A can come or string B can come. Okay, my string A's length, let's say 3, so I can always make 2 strings back to back, 2 strings of length 3. Also I can make 2 strings of length, three strings of length 2, right? So it's up to my choice. So I will make that string either one of these two, and I will track the other ones, each and every substring, each and every portion of that. And like we will do something like this. Let's say I have finally what? This, right? I will finally have this. So let's say I have made it from this string, okay, not this one. Now so I have already guaranteed that yes, this is equal to this. That, and now I will try to compare this string with this, each by checking each part of it, like a substring, you could say. Like first I will check this, okay, they're equal. Then I will check this substring, then equal this substring. If they're all equal, then it's okay. Otherwise it's not. Let's take you to the code part. So what we have to do here is what we took 2 strings A and B, their length, and what we're doing in this if loop, we're actually measuring that, okay, a string A will always be greater, string A's length will always be greater than or equal to B. That's exactly what we're doing here, swapping and then swapping the strings if they're opposite to each other. So I'm making sure that string A is always greater than or equal to B. And then I'm just finding out here this part is taking consideration of the LCM value, which is going to be the final length string, final string's length, and this is measuring. So I'm always measuring from the first string, okay, the first string, how many times it's gonna occur inside the final one, right? And then by making it equal to that, I'm comparing to the other one with this, so that I can make sure that everything is okay or not. And then finally what we did here, I'm just checking out uh, here what we told you, that I will try to make that string. This is the making part. How I'm gonna make that, like adding the first string again and again. How many times? C times. I've already told you how I did that. The final length divided by the length that you want and how many times you want. So finally you would be, now here's the main part here. Like I'm just checking out whether, now why is okay, I'm checking out whether string B is equal to string A. Now remember, this string A, I'm already considering it, yes, this is my final answer, but yet I have to check one string, I have to compare with the other string 2, although I'm previously considering by making one string equal to that LCM, and then I'm checking whether the other string is equal to or not by checking each and every substring portion like this. Okay, like this. So if it doesn't happen at some point, then I'm gonna break it down. I'm gonna break from that loop, and the answer will be -1. Otherwise the answer will definitely be A, because I just made here the LCM final one. So I hope I made you understand that. And one thing to notice here, this J percentage of LEN is actually doing the thing here. So when let's say when I increase my J, it at some point it will be greater than of its length. So just to make sure that I compare each and every substring, that's exactly why I'm doing the modulus operator. So that after this length ends, it actually starts from the beginning, because I'm actually modding, right? I'm actually doing the modulus operation. So I hope I made you understand that, and until next time, goodbye.